This is a very, very short overview about systemic approach for teams, for systemic coaching. And we will treat our teams as a patient. First, I would like to introduce myself a bit more. I'm Marga Bel Klever. I'm working for 2 years in Adevinta, Spain, and I'm currently part of the PIC team. We are the owners of the evolution of the model, in short, the business agility part and global part outside of product and tech areas. Previously, I was working as Agile coach, an enterprise Agile coach in CaixaBank and in Everest for different customers, and a long time ago in energy sector. But today we would like to talk about systemical coaching. Let's start. Imagine that situation. For sure, you live something like that. Somebody asks for your help, saying a team needs Agile or a team needs a Scrum. Even sometimes this person say to you how many months you need to apply coaching for these teams to solve whatever. But is that what these persons need, what the team needs? It's like, an example is like to go to a chemistry and said, I need a box of pills, paracetamol pills, and the chemist doesn't ask anything. But it's really the need of this patient. Continuing with our example, if this person goes to the chemistry with a headache, it could be possible that perhaps this person can sleep, or this person have a cold, or he or she suffers stress, or a brain tumor, or even an overconsumption of medication, because an excess of paracetamol produces two headaches. So why, if we need to analyze a patient just because has a headache, we are not doing the same to something too complex like a team is? Before giving the paracetamol to our patient or a Scrum to our patient, we need to know the circumstances of this person. Then we need to see the symptoms. We need to do more tests to see if it's something much more than this simple symptom that could be a headache. And we will do a systemic check to do this in a team. In the case of teams, we can analyze systemically for two different approaches. The phenomenological approach from the Hellinger Institute, the Jean-Jacob Stam Institute, who analyzes the relational part of the system, or, on the other hand, the structural approach by Matthias Varga from the SIST Institute in Germany, which analyzes the configuration of systems. Personally, when I work with teams, I prefer to use or to combine both approaches because it gives different points of view and different information to find what's wrong or what can we improve in these teams. And let's start with our approach. First that we have to ask is, who is our patient? In our case, a system. And what is a system? A system can be a team, an area, a company. But what is a system? A system is a set of elements which exchange information with a meaning and limits. If these three things do not happen at the same time, it is not a system. And it is quite important. I will give to you some examples. For example, if two people are talking, they could be a system. But if they are talking in different languages and they are not exchanging information, then they are not a system. The same could happen if we are in a train or in the underground with a lot of people. Well, we have the limits. We have the limits of the train. There are a lot of people. All are speaking Spanish or in English, but we are not a group because we are not doing an activity together. We don't have anything in common. So we have to take care that we have a group with elements that are working together because they are part of a group that are doing something together. And it's important to have the meaning and the limits. Why? Because the limits, the boundaries of our playground and gives us the rules. It's important to remember something before change the slide, and it's like a patient. The ultimate goal of a system is to survive. A system will do whatever it takes to survive, and like change agents must be remembered every day. For sure, you know how difficult it is to change something. Ask before if you are fighting with the system. If the system feels you like something dangerous, the system fights against you. Let's analyze the system using the basics of the principles of the systemic. And which one are the principles of the systemic? The first one is belonging, the sense of belonging, the sense of belonging to the group. People do whatever it takes to belong to the group. If you are ignoring somebody, you have to remember that this person wants to be seen. If you are not seeing this person do good things or bad things to be seen, because to be seen is to belong to the team. Another one is balance. The system have to be balanced between what is given and what is taken. It doesn't mean that have to be in flat. If we are thinking in the measurement of something, if something is flat, it's death. So we have to do and receive. And if we don't have this movement, we don't have life. It's important that not only exists this movement, but also will be balanced. If we are giving too much or if we are receiving too much, we are not an unbalanced team. And this can create problems too. And the last one is order. It's important to know the hierarchies, but not in the old style. It's important to know the limits, the positions, the functions, and the roles. The roles have to be clear. And why? Because everyone must to know her place. Otherwise, the patterns that every person has appear, and for sure we will have conflicts. If we have persons wants to do the same function, probably we will have conflicts. And finally, related to hierarchies and structures, it's important, it's a key part to remember that the system wants to be complete. So we have to take care that all functions will be covered. And what is a member of a system doing to complete the system? Well, the person could be three things. A function to be done with the system. So we have to know all the functions to cover and to see that everyone has a function. If a person is in a team and doesn't have a function, he or she will try to find a function. And it could be possible that's not the best for the team. Another one is complete. Complete a part, complete a role, complete a decision that it's missing. It's something that a person covers, a team member covers in a team. And finally, replace. Replace if a part is not working properly. To avoid conflicts, will be key that each member knows his or her role, like a function, to complete the system, or replacing something. In order to know what is happening to a team, we can use different tools. First one, the classic one, interviews. Like when we go to the doctor, ask to the team to see what is wrong. What is a pain for the team? The second one is observation, seeing how they work in dailies, retros, plannings, the day-by-day things. And finally, systemic activities, activities such Legos, constellations, or structures that we can use to see how is working belonging, how is working balance, if we have the limits, and so on. Let's move to two cases that we can see. First is a case from a team, a multi-team area that, of course, I can't say who they are because it's a confidential reason, but it was a multi-area team, and they are not working quite good, and managers are working a lot for 4 years to find a solution, and they don't have it. And they said to me, this team needs a scrum, as always, our paracetamol. And I see they explained that there were personal conflicts, low delivery, a lot of unplanned work. A lead of one of the functions was acting as a proxy PO because the PO was overloaded, and this lead had to move to another area. They have to know about all the business, all the marketplaces, because they have requests from everywhere. They didn't have clear the purpose. They are not connecting with the internal customer. And some people are low performance. As you can see, it doesn't sound quite good. But when I see this team, I did an assessment in 3 parts. The first one-to-one interviews, which each members of the team separately, focusing on 2 people which have this conflict, and with the lead. I talked with the PO and area managers, I see how the relationships are working. And I attend also some events, the retro, planning, dailies, to see this exchange of information, as I said previously. I carry out also several activities to identify members' information exchange, limits, how they are working, the belonging, and balance and order. The 3 tools that I used were personal maps to get to know each other and identify values, a team map with Legos, a constellation to see the structure and dysfunctions, and team agreements. Unfortunately, we don't have time enough to explain the full constellation. For sure, if we are interested, we can talk afterwards, after the conference. But if I have a short overview of the constellation, I realized that the team had dysfunctions in all the basic aspects of the system. The purpose of the team was out of the team and not clear. It's the blockade, the gray one. Elements, no? The sense of the team was not clear too, nor the limits of the role. And there are no order, as you can see in the pictures. The order, it's not there. And some profiles are in opposition, as we can see in the B circle. The conflict was quite hard with these 2 people. And about belonging, the poor relations made some people feel outside of the team. So my proposal for this, was quite different of only Scrum. I propose include the internal customer as a member of the team, as the PO, to give this purpose and to put into the purpose of the team, to give meaning and order to the teams, So we work with backlog, especially recognize people and their achievements. There was a problem with recognition, so we have to talk and try to improve the recognition of people. Order the backlog and give in priorities. Bring order and identify the unplanned work because they had a lot of unplanned work. Differentiate functions and celebrate success and identify the common goals. Because the best thing to be a team is to have something to celebrate. And as you can see, Agile and Scrum are not only the things to solve this. The rolling out of this solution was to split the team in three teams, one per each marketplace, because this clarified the purpose. We put in order the backlogs, we define the rules, the roles, we identify the limits and the scope. And we use a framework to work, in that case Scrum, to put in order all the events that they are doing. The results after 6 months of this was that they had increased their speed by a factor of 4. So it was a very good success in that. Each member of the team was clear about their role and they felt like a team because they have their function. The users are very satisfied with the results and the unplanned work has gone from the 40% to the 5%. Let's move to another case. In that case, a head wants to do a retrospective. And because the management is not really proactive, and they are not focusing on innovative things. The situation was the meetings were ineffective, they were not proactive, they need to be more collaborative, more efficient, and they want to have initiatives to activate innovation. So in that case, as you can see, definitely a retrospective is not enough. And in that case, my assessment was an interview with the head. I attend weekly follow-ups, and we do an activity, in that case, related to structures. We identify how they are seeing their leadership, the gaps in leadership, and actions to improve. The activity, again, I don't have time enough to explain in deep, but we have 2 teams using the SIST cards. I don't know if you know the SIST cards from SIST Institute. These cards show different sentences to reflect different ways of working for leaders. This gives you value to, for example, a sentence could be gives value to clarity, promotes good environment, or results oriented. Every color is related to different focus areas: people, day-to-day, change, or strategy. I share the cards with the leaders, but without explaining these 4 types, the 4 areas, because I want to a blind selection. They selected 10 cards per team, and the result was very similar in both teams. They selected cards indicating that they were balanced, that they are balanced, but it confirms that they had to improve the innovation. Only a card is into the innovation part. After this exercise in blind, I explained the classification. Each manager selected an avatar and placed themselves into the triangle where they feel like a manager. And it was very interesting to see that nobody was into the change, into the innovation. By doing this activity, they realized that they are out of innovation. Then I asked them where they would like to be related to innovation. and almost wants to be into. This opened up the question of what needs to happen for them to be engaged with innovation. The result was the following: creating an action plan to become more innovative, an action plan to grow teams, and to delegate more the daily things into teams, a process to improve the initiative of innovation, and a better alignment of day-to-day with strategy. I think I'm on time. Sorry, because I have to go quite fast. I don't know if you have any question.
Yeah, thank you very much, Marga. Yeah, let's check if we have some questions in the chat. Yeah, I don't see any posted. Any question? By the way, yeah, I was following I have some, and I was following your presentation, and very interesting. So very interesting. How did you approach the systemic coaching to a team? And I think it's very difficult and very relevant technique that highlights many things. So thank you for sharing the examples. And in this last part of the presentation, you
Mhm.
shared these different areas of the strategy, the change, and
Mhm.
yeah, you said the relationships.
Yeah,
Then
relationship and day by day. Yeah.
yeah, I was figuring out. So I was wondering, how do you avoid, that everybody went to the empty space and then generating other empty spaces, or in the strategy or in the relationships, again. So how can you
Yeah,
balance, and find this balance that you were mentioning?
yeah. As I said before, a system have to be complete, and see if something is empty. We have to see if somebody have to cover this. And in that case, for example, the day by day things, the plan was the teams do this because the managers are taking to the back to do
Mhm.
the small things too. So
Okay,
well, they are focused on this, and they have to move as managers to the change. But for sure, the other activities must be covered with another people.
good. Thank you. I see one question here is, I was saying, Marga, that was an awesome presentation. I would love to go through this in more detail with you. You should create a course of something alike.
Ah, I will be happy if we have a training about this. Oh, it's something that I put in my backlog too. Thank you.
Okay. So nice to see upcoming collaboration.
Yeah, it could be nice if we can collaborate and create something together.
Perfect. And I don't see much more comments or questions, so we can leave it here. Thank you, Marga,
Okay.
for making the effort of preparing all this content, sharing the experiences and everything.
Yeah, and for sure. And if somebody have any question, doubts, or whatever, they have my Slack and my network. So thank you.